What a headshot! What a head!
How's it, guys? This is Dayvy, FPL, and welcome back to the Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now in this video, I'll be taking you through my very own transfer plan for the upcoming Game Week 35. So double Game Week 34 is at their halfway point, and therefore I'm going to start off this transfer plan as usual with a quick review of how the game week is going and show you guys if the free hit has been a success or a complete disaster. Now we still have a ton of fixtures to come up for the second half of double Game Week 34, but I want to present my current transfer plan as the days go by. So in this video, after we do our quick review of how Game Week 34 is going and the free hit is going, I'll be jumping into all that goodness with one free transfer and 1.1 in the bank. Now we have had some news of some potential injuries that hopefully will get ironed out as the days progress this week, so we might actually potentially take a -8 hit. So if that's something you guys are interested in, sit back, relax, and let's get straight into it. So as mentioned, Game Week 34 was the free hit week. We activated the chip before this upcoming double game week. We wanted a fresh, clean starting 11, and it actually has been a massive success. So as you guys can see on the right hand side there, 74 points, 47k, that's not the overall rank, that's actually the game week rank. The overall rank is 15k. So that 74 points total takes us to 2,125, and for the upcoming transfer plan, I've got one free transfer and 1.1 million left in the bank. So massive game week for ourselves, as mentioned, a green arrow from 41k to 15k. So in the comments down below, did anyone actually get a bigger green arrow? That's about a 60% green arrow at the end of the day, but we still have half the game week still left to go. So hopefully if you guys did activate the free hit chip, I think you probably got a green arrow, but I've also seen the majority of managers without the free hit actually have some pretty high scores. So let's get on to the points as well as a prediction for the future fixtures. Starting off on our bench, and none of these bench options will actually come into the starting 11. So we've got Neto and Senesi here. As you guys know, Bournemouth conceded quite a few goals to Aston Villa, and these options are just simply on my bench because they were the double game week teams that I didn't have in my starting 11. McBurney as our Sheffield United attacker, we didn't go for Diaz from them, but if you guys did watch that fixture, both these two assets had a ton of chances. I think it was one big chance missed from both of them, but you could probably argue that United's actually the better fixture coming up. Then finally, Kilman from Wolves just had him, as mentioned, a double game week team, and that was an expectation that they'd lose to Arsenal. But as mentioned, my full starting 11 did feature, therefore the bench won't be needed, and I'm quite happy about that, to be honest. So if you guys did watch my deadline stream or even my team selections from last week, there was a few combinations of players. Luckily we picked the right combination, starting off with the goalkeeper Pickford. So going for Pickford instead of Henderson has netted us a much better score, and he racked up a bonus point, a save point, and a clean sheet in the first fixture. Now should he actually have kept the clean sheet, I don't know. Nottingham Forest had 3 chances for penalty shouts, but as mentioned on Twitter, Pickford would have saved all 3. So quite lucky, I guess, to get the clean sheet from Pickford, as how many other goalkeepers have actually done as well as him. Now the only thing about Pickford is that he has Liverpool at home coming up next. I'm just hoping the score doesn't become negative from goals conceded. Speaking about that kind of Liverpool-Everton game, we've got Virgil van Dijk up next, and unfortunately they lost their clean sheet to Fulham and he got no attacking returns. Now this is one of the positions I do regret. We spoke about going for a Trent, but I went for the boring kind of pick of Virgil van Dijk as I wanted more starts. Now with hindsight, I think Trent starts both games, started the Fulham game, played 70 minutes, expecting to play the Everton game, and a beautifully taken free kick netted him 9 total points. So he's looking at a double-digit return, and if you guys did go for Trent, congrats, but I do kind of feel like the logic of rotation with Liverpool was there, as the full front 3 was rested. So let's see if Virgil can maybe redeem himself against Everton, maybe get us a goal, but Trent definitely was the better pick at the moment. Now another kind of 50-50 choice was going for Ben White and Gabriel or the Arsenal double up versus the double up in attack, and because I probably would have gone for Havertz over Odegaard, I think this is a dub. So Ben White and Gabriel both got 6 points, Saliba got 2 bonus points, which was quite annoying. I thought that Ben White overall had the better game, but unfortunately was penalised for those offsides as well as an off-target shot. Now against Chelsea, if you guys saw the news today, Cole Palmer is currently ill and therefore might miss this fixture tomorrow. And if he does, this hopefully will be a clean sheet for Arsenal. So tomorrow night we'll be able to settle the double up in defense versus attack, but currently I think it looks good. Now's where the real fun kind of starts. We're going to start off in the middle though with not much fun. Bukayo Saka blanked against Wolves. Now at least Havertz also blanked because he was the kind of differential punt that you could have gone for, had better attacking stats than Saka, but I went for the nailed man. And overall Arsenal actually looked a bit flat. I think Saka's played so many minutes over the past couple of weeks that he might just be tired. So let's see what happens tomorrow against Chelsea. He was kind of a very boring pick like a Van Dijk though in terms of their attack, but congrats if you guys did choose Odegaard. Now Liverpool double up also was kind of lackluster, went for Luis Diaz and Salah. Salah was a no-brainer, I was expecting him to play both games, but the rest yesterday did kind of make a little bit of sense. As mentioned when we spoke about kind of Van Dijk and Trent, Klopp rotated the full front three, but Luis Diaz did start this fixture. Now there was some also talk in the deadline stream of going for Jota versus Luis Diaz. Like Van Dijk, I went for the boring option, but congrats if you guys went for Jota. Just a great finish at the end of the day, definitely has the high ceiling than the Luis Diaz, but I was quite concerned about some minutes. Now all eyes will be on this Everton game for Luis Diaz. I do expect him to start alongside Darwin and Salah, so fingers crossed there's a ton of goals in this one. But the two Liverpool choices really coming back to bite us. If you guys went for a Trent and a Jota, I think I worked it out, I would have been 7k. I just didn't have the courage to do it. At least I had the courage though to back my boy Elise, who got a massive 12-pointer. You guys know I've been kind of repping him since the first draft last week. I just kind of had a feeling that he would do well, and that's the best thing in FPL when you do trust your gut. And as mentioned with Henderson's -1, that's a 13-point difference. I think someone calculated this on Discord, but between Elise and Pickford versus Henderson and Diaz, it's about a 20-point difference. Then also Eze, the more popular kind of Crystal Palace midfielder, also contributed. Both these two assets got a goal and assist and bonus points. So once again, these two assets kind of made this green arrow that much sweeter, and really happy that Elise performed well. Now front two strikers also ended up returning. The first one, Dom Solanke, only the kind of penalty goal against Aston Villa, but he still has a nice fixture against Wolves. As you guys will know, Wolves currently struggling with some injuries, and I do expect Bournemouth to score on the road. But the final option, definitely the star performer Mateta. Who would have thought a 16-pointer from the Crystal Palace forward? There were so many memes over on Twitter last week about how Crystal Palace are viewed as prime Barcelona, and that's exactly how they performed in Game Week 34. Now the Newcastle fixture might actually be quite a tough one. Yes, it is still at home, but I do rate the Newcastle defense a lot more than the West Ham one, but fingers crossed they can get at least a few goals. But what I said over on Twitter is that at the halfway point of Game Week 34, you guys can basically erase the points and only look at the fixtures, and we can treat this as its own single game week. Now on paper, we are missing some Man City assets, some Newcastle, some United assets with the great fixtures, so let's see if Liverpool, Crystal Palace and Arsenal can do the job. But in the comments down below, how did your game week go? Where you guys sitting in the overall ranks? And how big is that green arrow at the moment? Just quite happy with the overall rank at 15k. The top 10k dream is still going to be on, but we might have to take a few hits for this upcoming game week. So to showcase why we might actually have to take a few hits, I'm going to showcase the team selection at the current moment. And as you guys know, double game week 35 only has two double teams. Those teams will be Chelsea as well as Spurs. Now the fixtures on paper aren't that great, so this might be one of those weeks where double game weeks are overrated. Now with one free transfer and 1.1 in the bank, I might be forced to take a -4 hit, and this could rise to a -8 if I want to change the team around. So I'm going to start off on the bench, and this week unfortunately going to have to bench those United assets, Onana and Garnacho against Burnley at home, which is one of the best fixtures on the cards. Now I'm going to ignore the FA Cup result because I think that kind of might have been a once-off. Yes, United haven't been great, but it was an FA Cup semi-final. If your opponent isn't up for it, what are they even doing there? Now against Burnley at home, I do expect United to return to kind of a very easy win, but I guess with United nothing's easy. Now the nice thing about Garnacho is if one of my attackers doesn't feature, I can just simply play him off the bench. Then we have Connor Bradley, who is unfortunately injured. He has West Ham away. I'm definitely going to have to sell him in the future. As with Trent back, I can't see him getting too many minutes. Then finally Van Heck against Bournemouth, I could potentially play him if I want to, but I do expect Bournemouth to score against Brighton. Now starting goalkeeper might actually be quite contentious. It's Petrovic. Who do you think scores more points, Onana or Petrovic in Game Week 35? Aston Villa and Spurs, I kind of expect both teams to score, and therefore we're going to have to rely on save points from Petrovic. Now back line is going to be injury plagued this week. The first player, Udogie, out of nowhere, we got this news that he's going to miss the rest of the season, and I was banking on him as my Spurs defender. So he's definitely on the chopping block. I'm going to have to transfer him out this week. No use in keeping a double game week player that's not going to feature. So I'll be going over some replacements shortly. The next up, Dan Burn against Sheffield United at home. Great fixture on the cards. Super happy that I brought him in a few game weeks ago. Then with Gusto, you guys might have seen the news as well with Cole Palmer. Gusto is being medically assessed for a knee injury. He seems to be an absolute Reece James regen. So I was kind of hoping that Gusto did feature. Yes, the fixtures might not be that great, but he has a double game week. And if he's going to be missing, I might actually take him out as well. So overall the defense is looking a little bit ropey. Bradley out, Gusto potentially out, and Udogie out. That's why I might have taken a -4, -8 hit. Now midfield department is slightly better though. I do expect Cole Palmer to recover from this illness. I wouldn't even be surprised if he played tomorrow against Arsenal, as he definitely is Chelsea's best option. Now you guys will notice that I do have the Campsy armband on him. I just expect Chelsea to be better than Spurs, as at least they're not playing Arsenal in double game week 35. Saying that though, I do expect Son to do averagely. The Arsenal game might be quite close, but at least the Chelsea one has some potential. I'm not going to take him out before double game week. Then with Mo Salah and Foden, just kind of hoping these two options do start. The nice thing about Liverpool though, is they do play the first game, and I'm almost assured that we're going to get team sheet news. Liverpool are kind of the only remaining team at the moment that we do get confirmed news a few hours before the kickoff, but I do expect Salah to return after being rested. Then with Phil Foden, they don't have the Champions League to worry about, so I'm expecting Pep to play the strongest team every single game week, and to me that's going to be Phil Foden in the starting 11. Now Nottingham Forest is a pretty good game, would have preferred a home fixture, but I still think Man City do win. Now up front, Erling Haaland, he has had some injury concerns, might start on Thursday, might not, but we can simply wait and see what happens. This is where kind of Garnacho comes into account. If Haaland misses out or Darwin misses out, I can simply sub Garnacho on, and I'm perfectly fine actually playing him. Speaking about Darwin, same thing with Mo Salah. We hopefully will get some early team sheet news. I'm less confident about him starting than Salah starting, but with those early team news leaks, I can make a decision by deadline. Then finally Isaac, we brought him in a few game weeks ago, going to be super popular for you game week 35 wildcarders. Doesn't get better than Sheffield United at home. So overall on paper, if everyone started this fixture, the team would look secure, but with Gusto potentially out, Udogie confirmed out, and some Liverpool rotation concerns, we might be forced in taking a hit. So let's get onto that transfer plan, and there are a few options. The first option that I definitely will be replacing is Udogie, and I currently have two situations. The first one that I could go for is going to be a straight swap for Pedro Porro. He is a doubt at the current moment, but I do expect news to be coming on Thursday, and with two double fixtures in the next 3 game weeks, he might be a clear favourite. The only downside though is those fixtures against Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool and Man City, but the Burnley fixture in 37 make him a no-brainer. So this is the first kind of obvious choice, as mentioned, like for like switch, but what potential is there for clean sheets against Arsenal and Chelsea? And that's why I might actually look for a Newcastle defender, namely Fabian Schär. Now I can't afford someone like a Kieran Trippier. If I could go for him, I would definitely pick him, but does Schär score more points against Sheffield United at home than Pedro Porro in double game week 35? You guys can let me know in the comments down below, do you think going for a Newcastle defender over a Spurs one might be more of a no-brainer? Especially because Spurs play Liverpool next week, where Schär faces Burnley. So over the next 2 fixtures, I do need a defender for those 2 game weeks, and therefore Fabian Schär might make more sense. So these 2 options are my kind of definite transfer this week, but unfortunately with some injury concerns and rotation concerns, I might be forced to take a -8 hit. So 2 players I want to talk about are going to be Darwin Núñez as well as Gusto from Chelsea. As I mentioned earlier, Gusto is being assessed for a knee injury, and I'm sure we'll get an update later in the week. Now if Gusto does miss out, I might actually do kind of a switcheroo with my Chelsea assets, and that's why I want to talk about Darwin Núñez. So if we get news that Darwin Núñez is benched for the West Ham game, I might actually switch him to Nicholas Jackson and then take Gusto out. Now you guys can let me know what you think about that, because at the moment the forward options aren't that secure, and I actually like the look of Nicholas Jackson over the next few game weeks. Like Spurs, Chelsea also have 2 double fixtures in the next 3 game weeks, so both those 2 teams are the most fixtures till the end of the season. So Nicholas Jackson in for Darwin, and then my Gusto replacement will probably be someone like a Guardiola or Ruben Diaz, or I could go for a Van der Ven, but I'm not too keen on that Spurs defense at the moment. But this would therefore be for a -8 hit as well as the Udogie move, so 3 total transfers. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Obviously Gusto could be fine, it might have just been a precaution. Darwin Núñez might start against West Ham, that's also okay, but the Udogie move is pretty locked in, but I'll only make it after the fixtures for game week 34 are finished. If you guys also have some transfer dilemmas, comment them down below on my Discord server. Otherwise, good luck for the rest of the double game week 34. But this is basically a wrap for the video, guys. So if you guys did enjoy it, please don't forget to like if you didn't and subscribe if you have subscribed yet. Wildcard draft coming up tomorrow on Wednesday, along with the team selection later in the week, so make sure those bell notifications are turned on. But for the time being, I'm Dayvy FPL, and I'm out. Cheers, bye.